Good evening, everyone. Happy Easter, actually. 4:20. This video is actually going to get released tomorrow morning. But what is going on this Easter? We're going to do a quick little market update real quick. Bitcoin. Movement on Bitcoin this evening. 87K just teleported up here. GameStop ended last week. After hours ended at 27.27. But what is currently happening with GameStop? Where are we in the timeline? Still no post. Still no update. Let's check out his account. Nothing. We're still waiting. We're this dog right now. Still waiting. We're going to talk about the convertible debt today. What could possibly happen with this convertible debt and the different outcomes for this convertible debt that could happen. So let's go ahead and get that started. So if you live under a rock, GameStop just recently issued $1.3 billion of convertible senior notes. This happened March 27th, almost about a month ago. So check out the chart real quick. So March 26th, we were at 28. And right after that announcement, it just crashed all the way down to $21. Part of that is because the convertible arbitrageurs do want to have the best spread that they can to get the best return they can with this convertible debt. And that all depends on the conversion price. We are up almost 27%. It's almost to the point where before the announcement was released. And so what is this all about? What is this all about? Okay, so GameStop offered $1.3 billion, 0% interest rates. And these notes are due in 2030. Basically, it's a type of loan that a company issues, which can later be converted into shares of stock. So the $1.3 billion will start out as debt. Since there is no interest rate payments, it will just end up converting into shares at a maturity date. The notes will mature April 1st, 2030, unless earlier converted, redeemed, or purchased. It looks like the conversion price for these convertible senior notes will be $29.85. If GameStop shares end up at $29.85, or even better, the people invested in these notes are allowed to convert them into GameStop shares, which leads us to dilution. If you're a current shareholder of GameStop right now, are you going to get diluted? If you guys are in the loop, they are currently following the Michael Saylor MicroStrategy playbook. He's been issuing convertible debt since 2020 actually, and purchasing Bitcoin. So he keeps issuing all these loans, and he keeps buying Bitcoin, the ultimate asset, by the way. And he keeps doing that. Repeat. And he's been doing that for a couple years now, and it's working out so far. And so it looks like GameStop will follow in their footsteps. Now, the main reason why MicroStrategy and now GameStop is doing this is because they are able to issue all this debt, 1.3 billion convertible senior notes, at such low rates. It's basically free money for these companies. But the investors in the convertible debt exchange that risk for the option to convert into equity later on at a later date. GameStop expects to use the net proceeds from the offering for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of Bitcoin. So again, guys, in the next 5 years, if GameStop's stock price appreciates above the conversion threshold, which is $29.85, then the note holders, of course, are going to convert their holdings into equity, potentially leading to dilution. On the flip side, if the stock doesn't move, let's say it stays at $26.78, shorts keep shorting it, GameStop does nothing for the next 5 years. Let's say it stays at this price right here. GameStop is obligated to repay that principal in cash upon maturity in 2030. So let me show you guys a little comparison real quick. Dilution is the biggest concern, but let's break it down and see why investing in Bitcoin and investing in GameStop, having it grow, maybe possibly become a holding company, could benefit long-term shareholders instead of just diluting them. Right, so I'm going to bring over this chart right here. So here I have this graph. This will give you different scenarios, and let's go through it real quick. You originally own 10% of the company at 100 million. You own 10 million. Again, if the company issues convertible debt, your ownership will drop to 6.5. That's what happens if GameStop doesn't use the money wisely. They didn't reinvest in the company. They didn't buy smart Bitcoin purchases. This is what's going to happen. You have 6.5 million left post dilution, and yes, you own less of the pie. Scenario 2, if the company grows even after dilution, then it's a good thing. So take a look at this green one right here. Again, so pre-dilution, again, we have 10% of the 100 million. We own 10 million of the company. 2030 comes, and the convertible arbitrageurs are able to convert that 1.3 billion in debt into equity in the company, but now the company is actually growing. And they grew because they made smart investments. They cleaned up their balance sheet, cleaned up their income statement, and improved their cash flows. If they could do all that with this $1.3 billion in convertible debt, then the company will grow to 200 million. So now your stake becomes 6.5% of 200 million, which is 13 million. Again, guys, these are arbitrary numbers. This isn't what GameStop is actually worth. I'm just trying to show you an example. You still end up better off if GameStop could actually use the $1.3 billion in a wise way. So again, to review, post-dilution right here, say GameStop makes no investments and they don't grow in the next 5 years, then you will end up right here, post-dilution, 6.5% of 100 million. You got diluted bad. But if GameStop is smart, is Ryan Cohen smart? He's not a dummy, right?
If you don't think he's a doofus and he's not a fool, if you don't think that,
then in the long run, even though the $1.3 billion in convertible debt can convert into equity, it will still be better off, even with a smaller piece of the pie. Hopefully this week we do see some action. We're still waiting for Roaring Kitty, Ryan Cohen. Hopefully that made some sense. But if you have any questions, definitely comment below. Yeah, happy Easter again, everyone. Happy 420. We'll see you on the next one.